Today we're going to talk about the top 6 internet myths out there that's probably costing a lot of people money in terms of Social Security. I'm going to do another one in a few days on the top 6 Medicare ones, but we'll stick to Social Security today: retirement, disability benefits, survivor benefits, spouse benefits, and hopefully y'all haven't been a victim of these myths and lost your money. But if you haven't, make sure you people around you, your relatives, friends, family, and let's make sure everybody gets what they're entitled to, what they paid into Social Security. If you're new to my channel, my name is Ed Weir. I ran the 3rd busiest Social Security office in the country, and in my semi-retirement, I'm helping people throughout the country make sure they get everything they're entitled to from Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, and all the rest of it. A lot of changes coming up. I'm not sure if you're aware of it. There's a presidential election that's been going on for 15 years, it seems like. And there's going to be a lot of changes with Social Security and Medicare coming down the pike, and I will be here to walk you through it and make sure you take advantage of everything that's coming up and don't lose money. This is also a live Q&A, so I'll talk about the top 6 myths. Should take about 10 minutes, and then I'll get into all your questions. Looks like we already got a bunch of questions there, so I will stop stalling and let's get right into the myths, and then we can move on to your question. The first one is about disability. This is a myth going out there that everybody's denied disability the first time, and you hear this all the time. And I can guarantee you that is 100% incorrect. So how do I know? I've taken tens of thousands of disability claims, and many of them were approved the first time. Not as many as should have, because the whole system, needs to be tweaked. It definitely needs to be expedited. Right now, they tell you once you file, it takes 6 or 9 months to get the initial decision. And then if you do a reconsideration, it takes another 6 or 9 months. And then if you have to go to the administrative law judge, then unfortunately all bets are off, and then it takes a year plus. But disability claims, not all of them are denied the first time. Lawyers, I think, like to kind of get that, kind of myth out there, and that way you go hire a lawyer. And I've done a bunch of videos on how to apply for disability with all my inside tips, tricks, and secrets. So if you're looking for disability, make sure you do it right. And if you are truly disabled and Social Security does the right thing, then you'll be approved the first time. So the myth out there that everybody's denied the first time, it's kind of, it doesn't serve people well, because there's a lot of people that, are dealing with their disability and their financial issues and, side effects of medication and all that kind of stuff. And then they hear, well, you're just denied the first time, and they just give up. And those people really need to file. So when they hear that myth, it doesn't serve a good purpose. So let's stop that myth out there. The number 2 is the ex-spouse has to file before you get your benefits. And unfortunately, this is not only an internet myth, seems to be a myth that Social Security employees kind of perpetuate. I've talked about this a few times. This is called independently entitled divorced spouse. So if you are a divorced spouse and you're 62 years old, and your ex-spouse that you've been divorced from for at least 2 years is at least 62, you do not have to wait for them to file for you to collect your benefits. So a lot of people say, well, yeah, my ex is going to continue working, and they're going to continue working just to spite me, so I can't get part of their benefits, the spouse benefits. And that is 100% incorrect. I've told people this all the time through my live videos. I've done about 800 videos. And people go down to Social Security, and Social Security, unfortunately, the frontline people at Social Security are not what it's called, which I was before I became a manager, a T2CS, which is the Title II of the Social Security Act, a claim specialist, a retirement specialist. They are the frontline people, and the people on the phones are essentially, generalists, hardest working people in Social Security, but lowest paid. But also, unfortunately, they're not specialists in terms of retirement, and they're giving out incorrect information. So that's why I put the little reference down there, the policy. Out of the 20,000 pages of policy, this is the one that specifically addresses that. So if you're 62, you're currently receiving benefits on your own record, and your previous spouse, your divorced spouse that you were married to for 10 years, their benefit amount is twice your amount, then you can get benefits off that person's record, regardless of whether they have filed for benefits or not. They do not have to file for benefits. You can file for benefits, again, independently entitled divorced spouse benefit. Another myth out there is that once you file early, your benefits increase at your full retirement age. A lot of people still believe this for some reason, But yeah, once you file early at 62 and you continue to receive your checks, a lot of social media people forget to mention that little part right there. As soon as you file a 62, 63, 64 early retirement, that's your benefit amount. Obviously you get your COLA increase. This year it's pretty paltry. But that will be your benefit. It won't increase once you hit your full retirement age. It can increase, obviously, based on the COLA, and it can increase if you continue to work and your benefits are stopped, or if you hit your full retirement age and you want to stop your benefits to get those delayed retirement credits. There are ways. I've talked about the different ways you can actually increase your benefits after you start them. There's basically 3 ways, and I talk about those in several videos. But if you file at 62, 63, and you're getting X amount of money and you continuously get those checks every month, you don't stop it for some reason, then your benefits, that's going to be your benefit for the rest of your life. Obviously, COLA is added on there. Next one is can't start benefits if over the annual earnings limit. A lot of people miss out on this one. They're 62, 63, 64. They're looking for early retirement. But they said, okay, this year the annual earnings limit is $22,320. It's October. I've already earned over there, so I guess I can't start my benefits this year. I'll have to wait till next year. Well, you just might have lost 2 or 3 or 4 months for the benefits, because the first year you collect Social Security benefits early, Social Security can switch from an annual earnings limit to a monthly earnings limit. So for this year, if you made $1 billion up until September, Social Security doesn't care. It's only once you start receiving your Social Security benefit. So if you start your benefits in October, as long as you're under the monthly limit, and the monthly limit this year is $1,860. So if you stopped your $1 billion a year job September 30th, and in this month and next month, all the way to December, if you're going to be under $1,860, you can start your benefits. Nothing is withheld, the whole $1 for every $2, all that kind of stuff. So a lot of people miss that, and they say, I'll just go ahead and wait till January. And they've missed 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 checks, or whatever the case may be. All right. And the other one kind of dovetails in with people think they can never work when they start your benefits. That is incorrect as well. You can go back to work if you file for your benefits at 63 years old early, and then all of a sudden someone offers you a job making, $1 billion. You can there's several ways you can do it. You can withdraw your application within 12 months. You can call Social Security and do a work report, and they'll just stop your benefits essentially. Once you hit your full retirement age, you can make as much money as you want. A lot of people don't realize that. And when they're on disability, they don't realize that. When you're on disability, you can work. There's a lot of restrictions, but you're able to work while you're receiving disability benefits. So you can work. So a lot of people contact me and says, yeah, I was just offered this job, making $100,000, but I can't because I'm already receiving Social Security benefits. So I decided not to take the job. Please call that company back up and take the job. Just call Social Security and say, hey, I'm going to make $100,000 for the rest of the year, so stop my benefits. And they'll suspend your benefits until you essentially tell them to restart it again. So they take the job. Survivor benefits. I unfortunately saw this firsthand when I actually worked at Social Security Administration, taking survivor claims when we used to do them in office predominantly. Had a surviving spouse come in, and they thought they were going to get both checks. So let's say they're the lower earning spouse and they're receiving $1,000. The higher earning spouse who passed was receiving $2,000. So the household was receiving $3,000 total. When the person passes, you don't get $3,000 anymore. You only get $2,000 basically, depending on how old the surviving spouse is. But they continue to get their $1,000. So they get that check. Yes, they do get both checks. They get their $1,000 checks. It's just an accounting thing Social Security does. They get that $1,000 check. Plus, they get the difference between the two. So if the other one was $2,000, they get $1,000 from their own, $1,000 from there. So it equals $2,000. That's where the misunderstanding comes in, that you do get 2 checks, but one is subtracted from the other. So while the person was alive, the household was receiving $3,000. After that, the surviving spouse will only receive $2,000. So unfortunately, a lot of people don't make that plan and get really, really hurt financially when their spouse passes. And okay, so that's number 6. And I'll give you a bonus here on this is probably the biggest myth out there. It's not really Social Security related, but people It's usually tied to Social Security. And when I worked at Social Security, we used to get calls every time about, I heard about the stimulus check. When is the stimulus check coming and all the rest of it? And I am going to give you a 100% foolproof method to decide whether this clickbait you see all the time on social media is true when it comes to a stimulus. Here's how you can tell 100% for sure that a stimulus is actually coming. You'll see one of these on TV. The president of the United States standing in front of their podium with the flags in the back, patting themselves on the back about how awesome they are that they're giving a stimulus check and you're going to get $600, $1,000, or $2,000, or whatever the case may be. So if you see any clickbait out there on social media that says there's money coming for this, that, and the other, turn on the news. If you don't see this, then it's all just clickbait. Somebody trying to get you to click on their channel and watch their whatever. So presidents love giving out money and they like bragging about giving out money. So until you see that, don't believe the whole stimulus thing. So